Hi, this is Laura Zam, and this is Sexual Healing Central. Today, my guest is Pasha Marlowe, who's going to give us 3 tips for using pleasure when life is difficult. Stay tuned. Hi, Pasha. Welcome to Sexual Healing Central.
Hi, Laura. Good to be here.
I'm very, very happy to talk with you and to just have your wisdom on the podcast today. I'm just going to start off asking you to introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Pasha Marlowe. I am a marriage and family therapist turned coach, life coach. Lately, I've been calling myself a therapeutic comedy coach, where I empower women to access humor and pleasure in even the most difficult days.
Awesome. Fantastic. And what drew you to pleasure?
Grief. It's never easy. I was in the depths of my grief in my hardest moments. A couple years ago, my youngest son got sick. He's still sick, so I'm still in the weeds right now. And I saw how me grieving his illness was taking me down a path of darkness and fear that was debilitating and paralyzing. And so I started reading about humor and pleasure, almost just intuitively, a sense that that's what I needed to do. That was something I hadn't tried. And I started accessing it, and it was life-saving to me and to him. So I started working with my clients through that lens. And it's been more transformative than any of the traditional therapy I did as a marriage and family therapist.
Right. Okay, let's switch. I want to switch over to these 3 tips, or segue into these 3 tips. I know that you have 3 tips for using pleasure when life is difficult. Take it away. Take it away.
Yes, I see pleasure far beyond sensual and sexual pleasure. To me, pleasure is, again, about being safe and free, and then ultimately, expansive. And so my first tip would be to tap into your senses. And this is particularly useful for anyone who's experiencing trauma or trauma triggers or any anxiety, to tap into your senses. And I use this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, where I look around and I say, okay, name 5 things I can see. Okay, I can see a window, light, door, fan, flowers, microphone. I don't count. I think I got 5. And then you think through 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can feel, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. And in the middle, and if you could just think 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And by the way, it doesn't matter if it's 5 things you can hear and 2 things you can smell. It doesn't matter. The counting of the numbers, the remembering of the numbers is easy, even if you're in the middle of a panic attack. And so it's very helpful. And it gets you into the moment where you say, okay, right now, again, I'm safe in this moment. It helps to feel. I particularly like the one, what can I feel? Because sometimes it's just, okay, touching my leg, heat of my hand on leg, touching my soft shirt, feeling my breath in my nostrils. It calms the nervous system.
Awesome. So that's your first tip. What's the second tip?
So tip 2 is you can sprinkle pleasure on your shitty days. So I have this image. There's actually a little emoji or something, like an image of a pile of poo, the swirly poo, with sprinkles on it. And I think about that. It's actually why my backdrop is rainbow colored brick, because it's like messy and dirty and rustic and rainbow colored and still beautiful. Like, we could find beauty in the pain. And so we could still sprinkle on our shit days, which we have to, because some of them are really, really going to be hard. Right. And there's always a way to find something. And even if, and I mentioned this before, but even if it is that you use the good toilet paper, so when you're actually wiping your shit, it's more comfortable. So the paper rough stuff doesn't hurt. Like, let's go soft. Let's find some pleasure within the reality of what's going on in our lives. I get pretty scrappy with it. That's when I sprinkle it on the shit.
You know what? I love this so much because when Kurt was diagnosed with, my husband was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer 2 years ago, and I was writing my book at the time, and it was really, really stressful. He had a very successful but very difficult surgery and recovery and chemo. And I just remember so strongly being so stressed out and feeling, even though I was writing this book about pleasure and I'm, the pleasure queen, I remember how hard it was to take any time to, recover. Yeah. And what I love so much about this tip is that it doesn't matter whether you take time or not, because you're going to have to get toilet paper. You're going to have to, this is something you don't have to do mindfulness or have the cup, beautiful, but you're going to have to buy toilet paper. So just choose nice toilet paper.
Just like spend that extra $1 or $2 if you can and get the nice stuff. And this is for the caretakers and the caregivers out there who are caring for their children or their parents or clients or nurses out there. We're literally wiping other people's shit too. And toilet paper means a lot, and good wipes mean a lot to me these days.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite a metaphor.
I think so. And, and maybe it inspires something else, maybe like a 5 minutes to just breathe or something. But even if somebody can't manage that, just alone making that decision to get the nice toilet paper, I think can do so much.
Yes. Well, interestingly, it was in the guest closet, like where the nice pillows are, where the nice, candles are, and the nice toilet paper that we only pull out for guests. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, I need this. I deserve this. Why am I treating guests, better than I'm treating myself? So that's the whole being faithful to myself and being good to myself. It feels like heroic, radical self-care sometimes to grab $1 better toilet paper, but it worked for me. And then you're right. It sets you up that day to potentially create space for something else that's pleasurable, and if that sets the intention, then marvelous, right?
Beautiful. And I just love the terminology, being faithful to myself. That's just really powerful. What's the third tip?
The third tip is counterintuitive, because when you're lying on the bathroom floor crying because everything's so hard, the last thing you probably want to do is help somebody else. But I believe to be in service to others is pleasurable. It gives you a little, shot of dopamine. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like something good is coming out of this.
And this is in service to someone or someone that is not who you're caring for. Let's say if you're a caregiver. Yeah.
Yes. If you're a caregiver, you're doing that 24/7, and that probably doesn't offer very much thrill anymore. So it is counterintuitive, because you're depleted and you're caring for other people seemingly all the time. And if in that space, you can also pay the toll for the person behind you, buy the cup of coffee, be on the other end of the phone for somebody who is also experiencing trauma, or somebody else who's caregiving, and hold space for them, because now you have so much compassion and empathy. I find that it shifts my mood instantly. It just gives me this second to realize there is a gift, and it is pleasurable to have this ability to understand other people's trauma or help somebody through a difficult day. I do that every day. People say, why are you taking on a client today? You should just cancel your clients or cancel your podcast. Like, no, this is exactly what I need. I need to be of service to others. It resets everything for me, and it makes me feel like I have purpose on this planet other than to be in pain and grief. I need to go back to my pleasure through others.
Yeah, beautiful. So that is really where I think we'll end it, because it's just a gorgeous message and very, very inspiring. And I'm I'm just so happy that you came on my podcast today. And I wish you luck, and I look forward to many more conversations between us.
Thank you. I'm so glad we met. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.